Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess and I like to read. I do read a few other genres, however, romantasy is what has my heart. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 11 books that I read for the month of May. Yeah, I read 11 books. I've been pretty consistently reading anywhere from 8 to 11 books each month, so we're doing pretty good. Our Goodreads goal, I think I had it set to 75, and I think I'm like 8 books ahead. So we're doing pretty good. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about them and see how many 5-star reads I had for the month of May. The first book that I finished in the month of May is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I did enjoy this. This was a fun, spooky, gothic trials and games vibe. This follows our FMC Ophelia. This is in third-person perspective and single POV. And our FMC Ophelia, her mother passes away, so her and her sister Genevieve inherit all of her mother's things, including her debt. So Genevieve decides to enroll in the game of Phantasma to be able to wipe clean the debt that their mother has incurred. So Ophelia is looking for her sister and decides to join the Phantasma games and makes an unlikely friend whilst doing so out of our MMC Blackwell. And this was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the interactions. I liked the charisma of Blackwell, and I liked the banter between Ophelia and Blackwell. I thought it was a good time. Overall, I would give this like a 3.75 star. It was good. It just wasn't great. It didn't wow me. It didn't give me like that 5-star feeling. It just kind of ended really abruptly. I don't know. However, I did end up enjoying it. The next book that I read, Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roarick. I loved this. I am obsessed. I cannot wait to continue this series. I'm hoping for this month that I'll be able to read book 2. But this is a 5-book series, but this book is written in first person and does have dual point of view between our two main characters. This follows Scarlet. She is an assassin and her mother gets eliminated. So she is trying to find who did it, and she's out for revenge. Within her Assassin's Guild, her boss essentially tells her that, hey, if you complete this assignment that I give you, then I'm going to be able to give you revenge against the Fae Fire Prince who is responsible for your mother's elimination. And this was so much fun. I loved this. I loved our main male character. He was broody, he was mysterious. He, of course, is hiding things from her and answering questions, but also leaving more questions than you had to begin with. This was a great time. I loved this so much. This I gave 4.5 stars. This was a good time, and I cannot wait to jump into the rest of the series. On Kindle, I read Kingdom of Blood and Salt and Court of Vice and Death. This is the Blood and Salt series. I believe there are 4 books total, and I loved book 1. Book 1 I had a good time. It was definitely giving From Blood and Ash vibes. The first book is written in first person and has single POV. The second book, again, first person, but does have multi-POV. So I love that. But the first book follows Ara. She lives in the Fae Immortal Kingdom of Athos, and she is actually the bastard of the king. She has 3 half-sisters who are royalty, and her older sister, Legina, is next in line for queen. There is another realm, Konos, which is like the vampire realm, and they provide protection over Athos from the dragons and from vampires and other high fae. And they require I think it's either every 9 years or every 14 years, they require a sacrifice of 9 or 14 members of their realm. And this year they are requiring a lump sum of 100 tributes. And Ara is trying to find a way to not meet that goal. So she is distracting the Konos delegate, Riven. This was really good. This was definitely enemies to lovers and court politics. The second book, Court of Vice and Death, was more heavy on Greek mythology and prophecies, which was cool. I did enjoy that. I did get a little bored the first like 25% of the book. However, I did finish it, and there was more history explained behind the Fae King of Konos and the Konos realm in general, and there were some unlikely friendships made. Overall, Kingdom of Blood and Salt, I gave 4 stars. Court of Ice and Death, I gave 3.5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. The next book that I read was Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. This is book 1 of the Artifacts of Oranos series. This follows our FMC lore. She is in a prison with her 2 siblings, and while she gets in trouble and kind of puts herself in like a solitude, but it's like out in the middle of the forest, she gets kidnapped and thrown into the trials for the Sun Queen. I think there are 10 total candidates in these games that are all competing for the love of the Sun King. If she doesn't win, then she, gets eliminated forever. Or she loses and then she has to go back to the prison. I love this. I had so much fun with this. This was definitely a solid 4 stars for me. This is written in first person and has dual POV. I had a lot of fun with this. I cannot wait to continue the rest of the series. The Fae realm meets The Bachelor. And my only 5-star read for the month of May, Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I am obsessed. I am so obsessed with this world. I am obsessed with our FMC Marin. This is so good. This is written in first person and single POV. This follows our FMC Marin. The realm that they are living in has been at war with vampires for years and years and years, and the territory that they are living in has had children go missing quite frequently, and assuming the vampires are stealing them, Marin and her mother and her sister Selah all live together. Her mother has an illness. The way it's kind of described as almost like dementia, kind of felt like a dementia kind of thing, but her sister Selah does end up getting kidnapped. So Marin decides that she is going to go to the front line of the army and go find her sister. So she's leaving behind her sick mother and her boyfriend, Lee, to take care of her mother. And when she enlists in the army, she finds out that they are doing bonding trials. They have hundreds of direwolves that are ready to be bonded to these soldiers. She pretty much doesn't have a choice but to join the trials. And even though she has no interest in bonding to a direwolf, she does. And it is one of the most grumpy direwolves possible. She hasn't wanted to bond to anybody in like hundreds of years until now. She has to survive 4 months of intense training to strengthen her bond with her direwolf, as well as overall train to be utilized in the war to come. There are some crazy plot twists. I don't know if it's just me and if I don't see anything coming, but I did not see these plot twists coming. Not from a mile away, not from right up close, right in front of my face. I did not see him. I love this. And some amazing news for the authors. Sable Sorensen is a pen name, and the author is comprised of 2 women. And they got this book traditionally published, which is so amazing. However, Furybound was supposed to come out in July, but now it is coming out March 2026. But that's okay. This was such a fun read. This was 5 freaking stars, baby. The last one and this one were my most highly anticipated reads for this month, and that is On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. I enjoyed this. I had so much fun with this book. This was a solid 4 stars. This is written in first person and has a dual point of view from our FMC Maedra and our MMC Blake. Maedra is halfway and she winds up in a vampire mortal realm where she doesn't belong. She is very distinguished from these vampires and mortals. They all have white brown hair. She has red hair, and that signifies that she has dragon rider blood, which makes her extremely important and special. So when Blake stumbles upon her in their world, he snatches her up and takes her to his uncle, and they're going to decide her fate. Blake, we're going to keep our claws in her. You're going to marry her. She's going to be your betrothed, even though you already have a betrothed. And this is true enemies to almost lovers. This has some trials and games, dark academia setting. This is like if Harry Potter met an adult vampire fae series with dragons and dragon riders. I had a really good time with it. It's a little spicy. Solid 4 stars. I'm really intrigued to see where the rest of the storyline goes, because as always, this ended on a significant cliffhanger. After that, I read The Cruel Prince. I did like half read, half audiobook, and I did enjoy it. I'm stuck between 3.25 and 3.75 stars. It was good. It wasn't my full cup of tea. It's a mix of a fairy realm and a mortal realm. The mortal realm is like an urban modern setting. Literally chapter 1, in fairy there are no fish sticks, no ketchup, and no television. that kind of set the tone for me. Kind of a weird urban setting. This is also written in first person and single point of view from Jude. This is a young adult series. There is literally no spice, none whatsoever. The romance is very, very, very minimal. This follows Jude. She has her twin sister Taryn and her older sister Vivian. Her older sister, come to find out, is her half sister. Vivian's dad comes to the mortal realm and eliminates both of their parents and then takes all three girls back to fairy to grow up as mortals in a fairy realm where they stick out like a sore thumb. This follows Jude and trying to watch her try to figure out where she belongs, try to find her place within this fairy realm where she doesn't belong. Her oldest sister Vivian has kind of found her spot, as well as her sister Taryn. I did enjoy it. This has a lot of fantasy aspect, which is fine. Again, that modern setting kind of threw me off. So every time they'd be talking about like being in the mortal realm, going to JCPenney's, and then going back to fairy where they have the high fae and elegance of the court that they're supposed to be a part of. I don't know. Our antagonist, Prince Carden, he is the wicked prince of the High Fae King. Let me just say, Jude gets heavily bullied. Okay, poor thing. She gets heavily bullied because she doesn't want to submit. So it was good. I will probably at some point jump into book 2, but not right now at least. Next up, I listened to Lights Out by Nevessa Ellen on audio, and let me tell you, the audio was absolutely phenomenal. I'm trying to be an audiobook girly, and in the past it does not work because I literally just hear words and it doesn't sound like anything other than blah 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 blah. But this was dual narrated and it was incredible. It was incredible. I loved the story. The last like 20% of the book was kind of like, it kind of like dragged on a little bit. I felt like that was kind of like unnecessary storyline, but overall I loved it. This was so much fun. This is written in first person and bounces back and forth between our FMC and our MMC. This is a dark romance. Check your trigger warnings. Josh is like a golden retriever, Joe Goldberg, and he was so funny. I loved his inner monologue, and every time his point of view came on, I was like, yay, I loved it. It was so good. Yeah. Stalking, your typical stalking masked men dark romance. That one was a good one. Solid 4 stars. Yeah. Next up, I read Feather So Vicious by Liv Zander. This is book 1 in the Court of Ravens duology. This is dark, okay? Dark fantasy romance. Yeah, check your trigger warnings before reading this because it is hella dark. This is written in first person and has multiple point of views between our FMC and our MMCs. This has raven shifters. This has hatred, enemies to lovers, enemies to fuckers, enemies to kind of lovers, kind of like a love triangle as well. And trauma. My God, some trauma in this book between our main characters. And like I said, please check the trigger warnings because I've started to like slowly dip my toes more into the dark fantasy romance and dark romance genre, and it was dark. There were a couple times where I was like, ugh. It was spicy. Spicy mama. Yeah, but yeah, it's a solid 3.75. I enjoyed it. I'll be reading the next book for sure. Last but not least, our 11th book, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is my first cowboy romance book that I have completed, and I did listen to it on audio. But this was so cute. This was fun. This was spicy. Our female main character, Emmy, in it, I could resonate with her so much because she has ADHD and she has sensory issues, and I resonated with that so hard. Because you know what? Same girl. Our MMC, Luke, he was hot. He was a hot man. Yep. This was first person perspective and dual point of view, and it was cute. It was wholesome. Emmy, our main character, she goes away to school. She's racing horses in Denver, and she winds up coming back home to Wyoming, meeting, of course, our MMC Luke, who is none other than her brother's best friend. Forbidden love. Brother's best friend at its best, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I had a good time. Overall, like 3.75. It was good. It was good. Those are all the books that I read for the month of May. If you like these kinds of videos, then please make sure that you like and subscribe. Stay, hang out while books get yapped about and the chaos ensues, of course. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, okay, bye.